So about 3 years ago, struggling to start a family, we have our own ways of dealing with it. So I went out and I bought a 68 Firebird. That was my 30th birthday present to myself. Paid $5,500 for it. He advertised saying that it wasn't running. I thought perfect. And that was right when I pulled the 6-liter out of my Silverado and put a Cummins in the Silverado. So I was hoping maybe I can take the 6-liter and do an LS conversion on the Firebird. It'd be a sweet car. It was a year before that I went to Burkina, taught mechanics on one of the poorest countries in Africa. It's amazing how quickly those feelings disappear. There's so much hurt in the world, and here I am right away a year later saying I want a first generation Firebird or Camaro. And so ever since I was 14, I wanted a first generation Firebird or Camaro. So I found this one online, I bought it, and then as soon as I had it, I felt guilty about buying it. I said to myself then, only to myself, that if I couldn't use the Firebird to help somebody else and benefit their life, then really the car has no value, has no purpose, other than just a material possession that I'm gonna idolize and don't touch it, don't scratch it, don't do this. Now the car probably needed a full rebuild. It was just at that point, but I know that a full rebuild, you know, all of a sudden 15 grand doesn't mean a whole lot. So it was good enough to safety, so I resealed the engine, did a few things to it here and there, get the blower fan going again, I buffed it, got the paint as well as I could. I did a lot of stuff to the engine, new starter, new alternator. The only thing I didn't replace, wasn't numbers matching. It had a 72 or 73, I think, 350 big block in it, Pontiac, but it had the Huey ignition. And all of a sudden I lost spark. Coming down one of the hills there in the town over in Fawn Hill, car just died. So right at Tim Hortons, the guy behind me helped me push the car into the parking lot and pop the hood. Let me tell you, if you ever want to meet strangers, buy an old muscle car, pop the hood, and just stand there looking like you don't know what you're doing. I had no tools with me, I had a migraine that day. And everybody from brand new Beamers to a guy driving an old piece of shit with his girlfriend in the side. Hey, nice car, do you need a hand? And everybody in between. It was amazing. But that's actually how I met Rick. He comes out of the Tim Hortons and I see him with his big handlebar mustache, the tattoos, he was on his Harley. I remember him putting his coffee down and saying, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well, I got no spark." He goes, "Oh, is it Huey?" I said, "Yeah." And he's go, "I got a distributor underneath the bench. I'll be right back. And my shop's just around the corner." And there we go. We're putting the Huey ignition system in the car. And we start talking, and he started sharing his story. So that's actually how Rick and I met. Complete chance. We started working in the shop. He goes, "You got a nice shop. We should build some mini bikes or something here. We could get a whole business going and building 2-wheel drive mini bikes." He goes, "The natives use them up north all the time. They fit where quads don't, and they never get stuck. Even if they do, you just pull them out. And you don't get hung up in those ruts, right? A business like that, I need tools, I need patents, I need, like, if they're already out there, I'm sure I'm infringing on something." So I said, "Well, I got this idea for voice recorders on a tape measure." He goes, "Do it." He goes, "It's awesome. One of those guys that we're working with right now, he's techie, use him and get the idea going." So that's how DEBOSS actually started, and I do feel that I'm being led to do certain things, and I love the Firebird. Yeah, it's neat, but now the novelty's off, and I'm not as thrilled about driving it as I was before, and it's time to sell it. I needed to sell it to pay for the tooling for DEBOSS, and it was almost an even trade for a 68 Firebird that was in decent shape for a little piece of steel that's in Asia right now that they inject plastic into, and that's the moldings for the DEBOSS housing. So that's how I met Rick, and that's how the story keeps going with cars and DEBOSS. So just a neat story on how that all came about. So follow a variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the DEBOSS, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.